seconds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it still shows offline. Come on.
From the
Oh,
moment
oh,
you were
oh, oh.
born, you always had it all. And I guess someone dropped the ball,
Eat.
'cause look where you have gone. You had everything, fucking everything. You don't
I will be
know.
back.
You had everything, threw it all away. You don't know. You got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. Feel like you were unaware of all the things you ever squandered. Feel like you could live a dream, but you just failed to see it. There is always another day.
Testing 1 2.
There's another round. No day is ever too late. There's always a way out. You got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on. You've got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. see it. There is always another day. For you, there's another round. No day is ever too late. There's always a way out. You got everything that you need. Everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need. Everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need. Everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything you need. Everything you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything you need. Everything you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything you need. Everything you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything you need. Everything you need. Hold on, hold on.
Here we go. How's it going? It has 2 minutes. Is the audio going right now? It's about time, eh?
I think it's about time, but
Like it's not time.
let's stop the video from playing before it jumps in, and we're live. How's it
And we're
going?
live. Back for
How-
episode 6.
Fucking right.
Fucking
We're
right.
actually on episode 6 already, like.
I know. These weekly videos are really racking up.
Yeah. It's getting going, like.
Yeah. Another lockdown podcast, but you know, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it.
is. Well, yeah, like, can't exactly, like, we've tried giving the government advice, but they just don't listen, it seems.
Yeah.
So,
and we've tried. You
what
know,
can you do?
we had it so you was my social bubble, and we tried to do their system, and now they're saying it's our fault, even though
Yeah.
we're doing what they said.
We did exactly what they said, and they still fucked it up.
Yeah. Well, they should. Yeah, like what I said to you over message was they need to fine people who are having these parties, because these are the
Yeah,
ones that are fucking things
realistically.
up.
Yeah, like the thing is with all the fines and everything, it was already getting quite weird as it was, you know? Like yeah, I feel like there needs to be some kind of reprimand in some way for some of the, especially with the massive fucked off house parties. But
Yeah.
you got to tread a line, because if you remember when lockdown first started, there were police in the supermarkets overzealous trying to tell us what was and wasn't essential shopping. So,
Were they really?
yeah, did we not mention that?
I don't remember this.
Yeah, we might have mentioned it on one of like the pre-podcasts, you know, like before we actually properly started filming them. But yeah, like there were in England especially. I'm not sure if it happened at all in Wales, but I heard about people that were going into the supermarket and they'd have like police on the fucking checkouts. and they'd just be like looking at people's shopping, asking if they think that second bottle of pop is that essential and all that kind of shit.
Oh, I
It's like,
never saw anything about that.
I'll see if I can bring something up for it now. Oh man,
you
it
can't tell people
was.
what's essential.
I know. Like, what kind of bullshit is that?
I don't care if you're going in just for one thing.
I know, innit? Like, what if you absolutely need that one thing? How the hell can they try and dictate that to the shoppers themselves? And it's like, well, okay, so say certain things aren't essential. Then what? You're just gonna let them sit on the shelf for the entire time, like for the whole lockdown?
Yeah.
I'm like, if cookies were baked today, then I'm gonna buy the cookies. I'm not gonna leave them. Like,
because you know that the day after cookies are going to be hard.
yeah, and the day after they just chuck them. So, like, I don't know what the fuck they were expecting with it, but it was U-turned rather quickly. I think the first reports for it were on like the 30th of March, so literally days after lockdown got kicked into properly. Oh fuck it, it's not bloody right aspect ratio and shit. Hopefully that fits. Yeah, perfect. All right, yeah. Literally a couple of days after, but by 9th of April. Oh, fuck off with your GDPR. By the 9th of April, like a week or two. Like, look at that!
Oh, that's a brilliant image.
What?
What we got on the back, mate? What we just said.
For fuck's sake.
Do you need them Haribos? It's just some twats just like confiscating people's stuff and being like, oh, that's free. I'm just getting a whole shot for free.
Oh, you need to go put that back on the shelf now where someone else can pick it up and get your germs.
Like, yeah, so, like, whatever they class as a non-essential item, that's still going to be in the store, so it's just not going to sell and just going to, like, no, what?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, like, they're so fucking uppity about saving the economy and everything, right? Mm-hmm. But yet they had the police. But yet they had the police as almost essentially limiting what the stores could sell.
Mm.
Like, granted that it didn't go on for very long. Obviously, how could it? It was ridiculous from the start. Like, I don't understand. Like, where they got off with that. Like, what the fuck they were thinking? Fuck it. Here's some quotes, right? Police have come under criticism for being too heavy-handed in response to government's guidance. But CC Alderley claims forces are damned if you do, damned if you don't when it comes to policing the new rules and the guidance. And how it could be clearer. Yeah, it should be clearer.
Uh-huh.
You're right.
Like,
maybe
have they seen the conferences and shit? Nothing's clear.
No, exactly. I don't know what they were expecting to come of this. Like, what exactly they were expecting to see happen. And actually, in a similar sort of vein to this, I'm not going to bring up the video or anything, but I seen recently, it was either on my Facebook or my Twitter, more not riots, that's disingenuous, more protest bullshit. So I seen a video of this guy on a bicycle coming through the street while people were going through in a protest. And the police started to like go through the road. So this guy, he's just on his bicycle. He's got a big box on the front of it. Wonder what you think he's doing, right? Mm-hmm. So he's just like riding through. And so just to make a second point before I carry on, who the fuck brings a bicycle to a protest? Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that would be practical? Because I'm failing to figure out what the police were thinking. Maybe they thought it was a big gun. I don't know. But they tackled this guy off of his bike.
Okay.
And started restraining him, holding him on the floor. All the while he's shouting, "I'm an Uber Eats delivery guy. I'm going to deliver food. I'm with Uber Eats." And the police just keep shouting at him, holding him down on the floor. There's people videoing it, all screaming at the police like, "He is a fucking delivery driver. The food is on the floor by there."
Just think of the food.
And they just carry on. Like, what the fuck? What is wrong with the, like, what is going on in their heads?
It's almost like a trigger. Like their brains see a load of people, and then there's one guy on a bike, and it's like, oh shit, that's different. Get it?
You know that's actually a fair shout there, because like that's one of the fucking arguments that, believe it or not, that fucking some of the Blue Lives Matter, let's say, for lack of a better real term, the Blue Lives people make as an argument. They'll say that like the police are overworked and stressed and all of this, and they're always on edge and worried that this last thing could be their last call and all. But yeah, fine, fair, that makes sense. So shouldn't they be trained better?
Mm-hmm. Shouldn't
they be trained not to have better fucking coping skills and stuff like that? Like it, like remember when Trump decided trans couldn't serve in the military anymore because they're not like stable enough, right? They're not emotionally stable enough. Well, surely we should hold like not to like that. Let's just make it clear. I'm not saying trans shouldn't be police. I think they should be in the military, but shouldn't we hold police to the same standard? Like if they like, surely if they're not like emotionally stable, if they have some issues with PTSD or something like that, they should be taken off the beat, right?
I can see what you're saying, yeah.
Surely if like the whole idea is protect and serve. So if they can't, if they're in a situation where they might end up doing the opposite by accident, like sure, let's say it's an accident, then then surely that's not really good enough, is it?
No.
Like if the whole thing is protect and serve, so if they can't protect innocent members of the public, then they're surely not qualified to be in the position they're in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you'd say the same thing about a fireman, right? If he got PTSD from working a job, then you won't want to put him straight back into a job where he might freeze up and get himself killed and someone else killed.
Mm-hmm. Where there could be multiple explosions going on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they have to be on the fucking ball. Same as the police. They have to be able to figure out what's going on in a situation at every fucking second and figure out how to de-escalate it. But it just doesn't seem to happen in America. Like, why are they given, like, I want to say, why are they given guns by default? Like, why aren't they given tasers? Like, obviously, like, you can argue Second Amendment, so a taser's not exactly the most effective weapon if their lives are in, or most effective defense if their lives are at risk. But then, again, protect and serve. Like, surely, if a guy goes postal, then realistically, you should try and take him alive to figure out what the fuck happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they do that, like that guy that went live streaming on Facebook. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they took him alive. Do you remember hearing about that?
I didn't hear about this.
Okay, so this was like 2016, 17, I want to say, maybe 18. A guy, I want to say he was a Trump supporter. I'm pretty sure he was, because I'm sure like he had like a MAGA hat on and stuff like that. But he had a chest cam on and he was live streaming to Facebook. He's driving down the street. He gets out of his car, grabs an AR-14, walks up to a church and opens fires while he's streaming on Facebook. And this carries on like up until the point that he's caught. But yeah, Antifa are the terrorist organization.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, as far as I can see, the arguments for Antifa being a criminal organization is that the libertarians that wanted to go and make an effort to protect the people in the BLM movement, because they white and they can carry a gun without getting shot, in theory. That was their logic, not mine. But those guys, while I appreciate the sentiment of what they were doing and everything, some of them were fucking idiots. Had their safeties off, at least I imagine they must have, because they discharged into the crowd, like so. You know, GG, you did a cop there. You managed to shoot the person you meant to protect and serve.
Yeah.
But from what I can tell, the whole Antifa crap is coming from that, along with like just some of the people in all black that are like going a bit mad when the escalations and the riots actually start. So it's all just coming from, it doesn't seem organized. Like the individual groups, like for example, the people that were there in effort to protect BLM, most of them called themselves the Boogaloo Boys.
Okay.
Like they didn't have any kind of, I'm not sure if they considered themselves Antifa or anti-fascist or anything like that. I don't really know where they leaned left or right. They were just like they were libertarian types, so they could see the points in BLM. The whole idea that the government is like the government's kind of taking advantage and stuff like that, and there's a whole issue of the more and more that they can get away with them, the more it will seep up to everyone else. So like. That's always been my sort of argument why I would stand with BLM, because like think about it, yeah. If police like shit to ethnic minorities and everything, and they're like for example in America they got arrest quotas and stuff like that. They often pin up minorities with planted drugs to get an easy charge or something like that. Or sometimes not even plant the drugs on them, just say they smell high so they can detain them for the fucking money.
Boost their figures.
Exactly. So imagine it got to the point where they had a way that they could pin that sort of stuff on everyone. Like they had a reason to stop and search everyone. Mm-hmm. Not just, shady looking minorities.
Yeah,
like,
that would be, like what kind of, how could they work that though? What would be the reasoning?
Well, the idea is that it's not so much that it's hard to kind of put across, but essentially the idea is that the more that the government can do to put in to like go towards kind of authoritarian totalitarianism stuff, the more normal people will be oppressed, the same as minorities. Like,
yeah, okay,
it's a thin line. It's like, think of it this way: they're kind of practicing how much they can get away with on the minorities before they step it up to the rest of the public.
Mm-hmm. And that's their way of tackling crime.
How do you mean?
That's their way of, I guess, just tackling more crime, I guess.
Yeah, like that's the guys it would be put under. Yeah, like it like so the idea, I forget which way round it is, but either I think it's totalitarianism. It's kind of do what I say because I know what's best and I'll keep you safe. You have to give up these civil liberties for the sake of freedom. That's totalitarianism.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of what the libertarian movements kind of fight against, and authoritarianism is similar in the way it in a lot of ways, but it's more sort of dictatorial, or however you'd say that. Like where's totalitarianism? So Britain's kind of moving towards totalitarianism a little bit. It relies on ultra nationalism and just general hatred and, shifting the blame and that sort of thing. So the whole idea with totalitarianism is have you read 1984?
No.
Ah, right.
No.
Well, 1984 is a good example of a communist totalitarian dictatorship. So, they control all the news media. They decide what gets publicized. They'll even change facts and figures, just for the sake of it. Everything it's like North Korea, essentially. Like North Korea.
You're fed what they want you to believe.
Exactly, and they always targeting someone as like the cause or of all our issues, or as something to be angry at for whatever reason, and it relies on you being like essentially indoctrinated into sucking your own country's dick. So the libertarian movements, they essentially can see the issues within that BLM are bringing up. So they wanted to go and support them and try and help make sure that things don't get escalated by the police. Because the whole idea was that if they have white guys with guns there, then it'll be a lot harder for the police to cover up them just cold-blooded killing them. But then again, they fucking murdered an old man, so
yeah,
that
didn't. They'll find ways of making that justified.
But yeah, the entire. I don't want to get back into it, but the entire fucking police force resigned. Or the entire fucking battalion resigned because two of the officers were getting charged for it, or they were getting what's it called, disciplinary for it. So they all quit in support of the officers.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that is some indoctrination shit right there.
Yeah, so fuck that police department in particular. Like that's what I mean. Like there's so much of the whole us versus them thing. Like police, they're meant to protect and serve, but then they have this attitude coming into a lot of these protests. Like, these are the enemy. They hate us. They think we're all bad cops. It's like, have you actually looked into the ACAB thing? Like, all cops are bad cops. Like, what I actually mean, it doesn't literally mean that you're a bad, awful cop, regardless of what you do. It means that any cops that are aware of corruption or anything like that, or are complicit with it, or don't speak up or anything like that, they're a bad cop because they're complicit with it. That's the idea of ACAB. It's not cops are awful people just because of like these examples. It's not like they're all at bad eggs because of one bad egg. They're all bad eggs because they're not shunning the bad egg.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I get you.
they turn up all charged to these protests, so thinking like they got to protect themselves and everything, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the protesters want to protect themselves because they're just, enacting their right to protest.
Something could really kick off, and then he could start shooting, and
Yeah, I seen something recently that suggested most violence at protests, most escalations at protests come from the police doing something to agitate the protesters.
Yeah.
Like if they would, like, for example, like when they start getting up into their lines with their shields and start bashing people back, why? What is the purpose? That literally only serves to piss the people off.
Yeah.
It's like they've booked their time to do this protest. They've gone through the correct channels. They're up to now, they're keeping it PG. Of course, it's a bit wild because they're using their right to protest, their right to civil unrest in protest to whatever the fuck. That's what a protest is. It's a right to civil unrest and disruption to cause to make a point. So they've been told they're allowed to, and then they have these police turn up, decide it's too rowdy, and start shoving them about. So no fucking shit, people got angry and it escalated. I don't understand how people can have so little empathy for the entire situation. Like, I get some of what people are saying, all the shit about how like, obviously we're not there, we can't see just how fucking bad it is, but they like people there are some people that are arguing that it's just too much now, and like, so there's like riots every day and shit like that, and there's just shit popping off all the time, and some people are like genuinely scared to go outside in certain areas. And like, okay, but why are you scared of getting fucked up by a protester? So long as you like actually make an effort to understand why the fuck they're there, what they're doing, and show some level of solidarity, then they probably won't fuck with you. Yeah. Like, logically, they won't fuck with you.
It's almost as if that they kind of want it to kick off. Like, at every protest, you will always get these people who are there to kind of get a bit
100%, yeah.
And a loop. And it's almost like they're looking for these people. That's why they're bashing people. They're like, come on, start something so we can start something.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny you mention that, because there's been plenty of people putting out evidence to suggest that there are people planted in the protests, like undercover cops or something like that are there purely to escalate it and give the police an excuse to shut it down. Obviously, you can't really say how true all of that stuff is, but like, some of the videos I've seen are fucking ridiculous. Like, I seen a guy throw a load of bricks at the police. Everything kicks off, and then 2 minutes later you see him like getting into the back of a police car on his own accord with the police, just like all buddy.
So they don't
window down and everything. He's not restrained. He's not got cuffs on. Like, the guy just started throwing the bricks and run. Like, he literally just started throwing the bricks so to escalate, and then he run and got extracted by his police buddies, essentially. And then there's all the cases of the bricks just happening to turn up all along the protest routes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who put them there? 'Cause it weren't the fucking protesters, was it?
Just randomly
Like,
planted.
yeah, like, I don't know how they can justify some of this shit. It doesn't make sense. Like, I understand some of the arguments against BLM, but the problem is, I think a lot of it is purely to radicalize people against the movement. Because when you think about it, when you really think about it, BLM, it's not so much just like black and minority rights. It's like Black Lives Matter, obviously, as does everyone else. So, like, don't you think you matter? So, like, if we don't do anything for like the shit that they're going through, it's just going to escalate eventually to the point where other certain subgroups are put through the same crap. Like for example, I think in Wales we get a lot of almost I don't know what we could call it, but there would be a specific term for it. It's like a certain kind of racism, right? It's almost like envy racism, right? So imagine you're one of the people that are just stuck in one of them nasty ass like rundown villages around here in the valleys, yeah. Like, let's say you live at Pant. You're a kid from Pant.
Oh, dropping that name. Oh, what are they watching, Joe?
Yeah, stabbed now, but yeah. So let's say you're from one of the shitty places up around here, yeah. So there's not really any there's not many minorities about, is there?
No.
So the very few experiences that a lot of the people around here, the smaller minded people around here, have with the minorities wouldn't necessarily be positive. So I had a work colleague before in working in a kitchen. He hated black people because he got mugged by one once.
Okay.
So
yeah. So they're all the same, basically.
yeah.
That's how that works.
Yeah. So there's that aspect to it, and then imagine these same people, these same kinds of people. They're gonna see all of this stuff in the media, like Black Lives Matter, and about how they're oppressed and everything like that. And those people are gonna see that, turn around and think, well, hang on, I got robbed by a black guy. They're awful people or whatever. Why are they?
What's that say about what Hitler? Do we all get branded with the same fucking name as that?
Yeah, actually, at the start of all the protests and everything, I had a similar kind of analogy to that. It's like all the bad apples in BLM don't represent BLM just the same as the KKK isn't representative of me or you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, BLM doesn't represent all black people, and all people in BLM don't necessarily represent the movement the same as us with the KKK. Like, they don't represent us, and we definitely don't fucking represent them.
They exist. Don't know why they exist. Don't know why they have to. Don't know why they have to take it this far, but they exist. And
like,
sad outlook on life, really.
Yeah. Like,
devote your life on hating something, basically.
Imagine being live on TV, right? Being asked to condemn white supremacy, and then to telling Proud Boys, hold back.
Yeah.
Like, you see the Trump debate and everything, Trump Biden?
I've seen most of it, I believe.
like that white supremacy one. Obviously, everyone's popping off on Twitter about it. But
Yeah.
like, how hard was it to say white supremacy bad?
Yeah.
Like, why did he have to stumble so much, ask for a specific group to address, and then decide Proud Boys or
Exactly.
like, why not? Like, and especially just attack the left. Like, oh, this is a left problem, by the way. Like, okay, yeah. You don't need to say that though. Like, you can have that opinion. You don't need to say that out loud because white supremacy doesn't have a political affiliation. White supremacy means you just want white people alive, innit? Like white's top.
Yes.
White's top. Like, so it's not not as if that's unique to just the right. You can have white supremacy on the left side. You could have a communist who's into white supremacy. Easy. But that's not what the interviewer was asking, was it?
No.
He was asking for the president to condemn white supremacy, and for like the second or third time, he basically refused to. Like, how hard could it be to just say, well, yeah, why? Like, why is that such a, like, I don't know, man. That fucking, that got me.
Yeah. I mean, the whole debate itself was a mess. Just write it off. There needs to be another one posted by.
I think Joe Rogan would shoot himself if he had to try and keep control of them.
I reckon we should do
I
it.
would shoot myself.
But come on, the podcast would blow up.
Bro, could you imagine? And the thing, we wouldn't even be in person to do that. Can you imagine trying to moderate that?
Oh man,
my
you
God.
just wouldn't be able to. It would just be constant Trump interrupting.
Actually, you know what? Thinking about it, it might be better to make him do it remotely, because then you can mute Trump's microphone without risk of him walking up to Biden's microphone and stealing it. That I seen straight away. One of the first things everyone started complaining about on Twitter was like, why didn't they just mute Trump's mic when Biden was asked a question, and vice versa? Because it like just for the sake of the host, just for the sake of the host's sanity,
Yes.
more than anything else. And then he was ranting about the ratings as well afterwards, like how many viewers it got and everything, bragging about it. It's like, you're bragging about the amount of people that's seen you then? Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I wouldn't want to be associated with that. Like, jeez.
Nah, like,
He's very
no, thank you.
narrow-minded, obviously. He's not thinking about the bigger picture. He's like, oh, views, that's good.
My bet, he was saying all of that stuff for the trumpets that didn't watch the debate, but watched him after the debate. So they just see him like, oh yeah, we had such great ratings, and they think, oh, he did great, well done.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, honestly, I don't think that he would. Oh, I fucking lost that train of thought now. What was I saying? Fuck.
Great.
Yeah, fucking. I don't think he's ever really paying that much attention to what he's doing. Like, he's literally just winging it, hoping for the best and trying to put a spin on it, and that's all that'll matter. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what gets him everything. He's gonna win. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, he's going to win.
After seeing that debate, there's no fucking chance in hell Biden will pull through. I don't even particularly want him to be president. It's just the better of two evils, really.
I know, there's no good candidate there.
Like, it was the same in 2016 as well.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. Like, if you don't want Trump to be re-elected, get someone who might actually win. I don't know.
like if the Democrats had just put Bernie forward, they might actually have had a chance, because they like, from my own like research, let's call it, I've seen that there's a weird number of Trump supporters that voted Trump because they couldn't vote Bernie.
Yeah.
Like, two polar opposites, but just because they didn't want to vote Hillary. Though, could you imagine the the controversy around Epstein and everything if Hillary was president?
Oh yeah, that would be very awkward right now.
Oh yeah. Bill would be there'd be a witch hunt on the guy,
Yes.
as if there isn't pretty much already anyway from half of the fucking American political base.
Mentioning that,
well.
can I just stress, why isn't Prince Andrew in jail yet? Why am I still seeing him having a fucking ball of a time with all his riches?
Yeah.
What's going on? Where is the investigation yet?
Yeah, like, what the fuck is Prince Andrew doing?
I'm sick of seeing his fucking face. Like, we used like old Internet Explorer. Well, we have upgraded to Edge now, but you can still access Internet Explorer, and on the homepage it gives you all these stories. And I keep seeing his fucking face living his fucking lavish life, and there's so much proof and evidence and a literal documentary with him in it. And there seems to be like no real investigation, and I feel it's like even if there was one, he'd still get away with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like,
He should be made an example of. He's a royal.
Fucking right, he should. Yeah, and for that exact reason, yeah. Like, you know what's So when you type in Prince Andrew, the top two results are news and then Pizza Express.
Okay. I'm gonna give that a go.
Oh my god, the first fucking result on that webpage. Oh, that's fucking... I didn't have sex with teenager.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, because he made the excuse that he was at Pizza Express or something, weren't he?
Was that... I was gonna say, wasn't there something?
Let's see. Robert said that they had partied at Tramp nightclub in London March 10th, 2001 before going back to Maxwell's Belgravia house where she claims she had sex with Andrew. That's, I guess, Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay. Or that could be referring to Virginia, I guess. I'm not sure. The prince said, I was with the children and I'd taken Beatrice to a Pizza Express in Working for a party. I suppose 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And then because of the Duchess, Sarah Ferguson, was away, we have had a simple rule in the family that when one is away, the other is there.
Right.
What?
What?
Okay. So he's saying, I was at Pizza Express with what's her face, and because I was at Pizza Express, the Duchess had to be there. The Duchess had to be home or whatever. So I couldn't have been with Maxwell. Like, fuck up, you pedo.
Like, where'd he pull that from?
It's the dumbest excuse I've ever heard, to be honest. Like, let's see. Yeah, we got a couple of things in the last couple days, actually, on
Can I just point
good
as
old
well,
Andrew.
There was this obvious desperation in terms of him trying to prove his innocence. Like the whole sweat thing. Like if that's one of your excuses as to why you didn't do this, then you are obviously shitting your pants and trying to come up with anything at this point. Like that's not an argument. You can't say that.
I would say he's just sweating, but then he don't sweat.
You don't sweat. Yeah. Yeah. So that to me is almost as damning as some of the other evidence that he thinks that that is a reason why this can't be true, and it's
I,
obviously wrong because humans sweat. Like it's all like he would have had people to tell him kind of what to say at this point. This
oh
feels like
yeah,
this come from him. This was like nobody told him. Oh, when you
yeah.
go there, when you do
It,
this, say you don't sweat.
like it's a 50-minute interview. There's no fucking way that there's no fucking way that the Houses of Parliament, would it be, or is that, no, that's like government, isn't it? That there's no way the royal family would have given him the go ahead to do that, and there's no way that that was a statement written up for him by whoever, by them. Like this guy sweat and made the appointment himself and dug his own grave. That's what happened. I'm sure I seen a little while ago that he's not a royal anymore or something.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, steps down from duties.
I mean, if he was innocent,
November
why would he be stepping
20th.
down?
Yeah, why does he need to step down if he's innocent?
Why wouldn't he be just like if this happened to me and I was charged and if I was accused of these things and I didn't do it, I wouldn't be stepping down because that's
No, you gotta like kind of hold your it just looks like guilty otherwise, don't it?
yeah.
So, quote from the article, Duke of York says he's stepping back from royal duties because the Jeffrey Epstein scandal has become a major disruption to the royal family. Surprised they even think of you as family. He asked the Queen for permission to withdraw for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I'm sure she was happy with that. He said he deeply sympathized with sex offender Epstein's victims and everyone who wants some form of closure, but he will not be providing it. I added that. He said oh, I read that bit. Blah, blah, blah. Companies he has links with, such as BT and Barclays, have joined universities and charities in distancing themselves from him. Apparently, it was a personal decision to step down.
Yes, it was.
And he said, I continue to unequivocally regret my ill-judged association with Jeffrey Epstein.
If this was a personal decision that he made himself for himself, he wouldn't be mentioning things like stepping down because of the bad press for the royal family.
Nah. Of course not.
Like this is a decision that the royals have kind of felt had to be made to protect their kind of thing that they've got going on.
Exactly. He added that he was willing to help any appropriate law enforcement agency with their investigations. What constitutes as appropriate when, looking into a pedo ring? Like, what? The rumours that have been circulating are really difficult for the royal family to manage. Yeah, I'm not surprised considering this ain't their first fucking rodeo. I mean, like, real talk. At what point did they stop inbreeding anyway? Because they're royals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're purebred.
Pure.
Like, if they're already inbreeding, then something tells me this isn't the first or the last scandal we'll hear in this vein.
Nah.
The monarchy is shaken. He's already fucking on his last legs anyway. Few people care for the monarchy anymore. He sought to cast doubt on his testimony, claiming he was profusely sweating in a nightclub, saying the medical condition at the time meant he could not perspire. I wonder if that was like Molly or something. Like he's off his tits on MDMA, so when he's in the nightclub, he's sweating profusely. But when he's not on MDMA, he's used up all his sweat and he can't sweat.
Christ. Oh, man. I do love that excuse, though. Makes me laugh.
Yeah. I can't find too much on it, unfortunately. But it can, in fact, cause dehydration and increased perspiration.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he's like he's a royal, so he's got the money for it. So if he's like on MDMA fucking all the time, I wouldn't be surprised if he couldn't sweat when he's sober. So there's another little tidbit or anecdote, possible anecdote of controversy for the royal family.
Yeah.
Unseen dining. Why is this a positive thing? Sarah Ferguson often films inside her home at the Royal Lodge in Windsor for her YouTube channel, Story Time with Fergie and Friends, and a new episode has revealed the unseen dining room at the property, where Prince Andrew also lives.
Yeah, like, that's, like...
Why are we giving him, like, vaguely positive press?
Yeah. Like, that's a bad thing then, right?
Yeah. He's not living there much longer.
Hopefully.
He's not going to be at the Memorial Day services either, apparently.
No. That's because it would be quite disrespectful to bring a pedo to this kind of event.
Yeah, it's especially the 100th anniversary. He can stay well the fuck away from it.
Like, why does, like, I'm also looking at this article, and why does any of this matter? Like, let's look at the big story here. You know, like, this is trash. Like, who cares?
Yeah, totally. I really don't give a fuck where he, unless we're getting a certain kind of exclusive look at his fucking bedroom or whatever in the manor, then I don't give a fuck.
No.
Like, unless we could get to see some shit that incriminate him, I don't give a fuck, because he does not deserve any decent press. Yeah,
this is, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we start now seeing a lot of stories like this, where they kind of normalize him as kind of let's just put normal human being.
Oh, well, they have, and then a good guy. They have the technology.
Yeah.
They, like, just fucking ask Dominic Cummings. He'll probably lend the software out. Like,
it's like it's posting this article and being like, "This is a positive thing," and then just fucking dropping his name in there with this positive thing, so your brain links the two together.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like some kind of what do you call it? Subliminal messaging, isn't it? Or like a subliminal suggestion, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you just pulled up there.
I'll pull it back up. So,
well,
I figure we should jump on into it.
I saw this news article.
Oh, shit!
It was really cool. So imagine you are stranded somewhere very rural, say like Snowdon or the Brecon Beacons.
Yeah. I'm getting a new job.
Who do you want to save you? Some fucking rescue
me with a jetpack
traveling on foot, or fucking Iron Man?
God, that's
See this video. I've seen people use this before, like prototypes.
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
this was an actual thing that was actually.
yeah. Like I can remember there was a guy on YouTube that was doing all this sort of stuff. I didn't know if it was like actually. I didn't think it was actually getting picked up and developed and shit. Like what?
It's got crazy control with it as well. Like watch when he takes off. Like look at that.
Yeah, like I seen someone doing like trying it for like the first time and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was showing like the whole kind of how you kind of get used to it and like start to learn to balance yourself and everything. But oh my god, that looks so fucking fun.
I know, doesn't it? Like I say, they're going to be using this for mountain rescue services. Obviously,
Yeah, I'm applying for the air ambulance.
Yeah. It'd be brilliant for covering ground, say if somebody's lost, or so you need to cover a lot of ground, or if someone needs immediate assistance and they can't wait half an hour for somebody to walk up, or you know, to get the chopper out to apply something which could be done in 90 seconds with this thing.
Yeah.
Tony Abbott has talked.
I just want to go though. I just want to go with one of these. How much do these cost?
Tony Abbott's latest.
Sorry, I got a little. What was that? Sorry, but.
How much do these cost? Because I
Oh
I
fuck.
want one.
Was it Man at Arms that made it? Or we could try and get him to commission and run for us.
Give it this like 10 years, and this will be the new hoverboard.
Yeah, I know.
When we can manufacture this for, you know, a sensible price.
Like, considering how small it is already. Uh-oh. Daily Mail. Death from above. Inventor adds a gun to his Iron Man jetpack.
I mean,
Bad.
that didn't take long, did it?
No. Bad. Naughty.
Yeah. Take it to the next level.
Apparently, the guy that designed it was an ex-Marine by the looks of it, so should have expected it.
Yeah.
Man literally wanting to be Iron Man. Yeah, so I got a little distracted there. Fucking something about Tony Abbott biting into an onion.
Okay.
Skeptic of climate science. Oh yeah, he's been like he's been pegged as our new trade advisor, ain't he? Old Aussie Prime Minister.
Yes.
And like from what I understand, he was essentially run out of Australia for being sexist, homophobic, and a climate change denier, while climate change was literally setting Australia on fire. But okay.
So he's
Guess
just
we're
eating,
stuck with him.
Just eating a raw onion
He ate a raw onion.
with the skin on.
It looked like it. I can't get back
Like,
to the old
yeah,
video
skin
now.
and
That's
all. Like,
fair.
what?
Okay, I'm playing
Tony
it.
Abbott has talked about why
Some
he
skin,
bit
yes.
into a raw onion last week.
Tony Abbott's latest controversy.
Probably say I have a bit of
Don't
sex
nod
appeal.
as if that's nice. Like, Jesus
I
Christ, your
know.
mouth's on fire.
Wait,
Tony
What?
Abbott has talked
Why is
about
that?
why
what do you mean? He's talked about why he bit into a raw onion last week, and it says 2015 up by there for the footage
I just saw that 2015.
from ABC News. What?
So why is this even popped up?
he bit into
19
a
hours
raw
ago.
onion last week.
Tony Abbott's latest
I
controversy.
can probably say I have a bit of sex appeal.
Tony Abbott has reportedly been caught on camera making an insensitive remark about the death of one of our soldiers.
He's a homophobic misogynist.
I don't think that's true.
He's a homophobe and he's a misogynist.
Well, he's also an expert in
Former Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott has been controversially appointed trade advisor.
I was waiting for that.
to the government.
Where you are.
It's in Britain's interests and it's in Australia's interests.
What are our fucking government? Man, Like, what? Why did you hire a guy that got run out of Australia for being a racist misogynist? He knows a lot about trade, though.
Oh yeah.
So
That sounds like
I
somebody
suppose that's why Boris was waving Tim Tams about a little while ago. Remember that?
I do not.
Somewhere he did a little Brexit thing. I'll see
Tam.
if I can find it now. Yeah, Johnson, Tim Tam. Here we are. Play the video. Play the video. I am pressing to play.
Think of the potential that we have. I want a world in which we send you Marmite, you send us Vegemite, we send you penguins, and you send us, with reduced tariffs, these wonderful Arnott's Tim Tams. How long can the British people be deprived of the opportunity to have Arnott's Tim Tams at a reasonable price? There is a huge amount that we can do, whether it's on financial services or across all the sectors of our
I can't hear the video.
agreement. We
You
share
can't.
a language.
No.
Oh yeah, it won't be playing through for you. You might have to watch it on the stream.
I am.
Oh,
It is.
it's not coming through. Fuck.
I am.
Hang on. Put it back a bit.
That we have. I want a world in
Should be
which,
coming through.
we send you Marmite, you send us
I can see it
Vegemite,
peeking.
we send you penguins, and you send us, with
I don't hear
reduced
it.
tariffs, these wonderful Arnott's Tim Tams. How long can the British people be deprived of the opportunity
Oh yeah,
to
I can hear it on the
have,
stream.
Arnott's Tim Tams at a reasonable price? There is a huge amount that we
On the
can
bright
do,
side, we sound
whether it's on
pretty
financial
great for
services
once.
or across all the sectors.
Sound quality is
of
going
our
good.
country.
Balanced well and everything.
Agreement.
Nice.
We share a language, we share a head of state. Whereas
Yeah,
the
it's just
United
it's a
by
little
so
quiet,
much
but
already. Let's get this free trade agreement done.
So why is he waving around these Tim
Australia
Tams?
and the UK coming closer
I'll-
together. than
oh, it's
ever
got the I don't know. You've seen like the subtitles and that then at least. So you like hear what he was saying, and you agree that it makes no sense.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? What is there a difference between Marmite and Vegemite? And is there a difference between Tim Tams and penguins? Do we really need a tariff? Like, is that what we need? Tariffs on reasonably priced Tim Tams? Is that what Brexit? Is that like the big thing Brexit's going to bring us?
Okay,
It is
so-
like a cheap penguin copy. Like, do Tim Tams even have jokes on them?
Better. Otherwise, what's the point?
Like, essentially, realistically, the only difference between them will be that the Tim Tams will have a higher melting point. So, like, how long can the British people be deprived of the opportunity to have Tim Tams at a reasonable price? How long can the NHS nurses be denied a pay rise, putting them up to a reasonable wage? How long can the Tories gut the NHS before they finally privatise everything and start skyrocketing medicine prices? How long will we have subpar mental health services everywhere in the UK due to underfunding?
Slightly more pressing, these matters.
I can't get them Tim Tams, but that's the priority. Tim Tams first, then we'll think about healthcare.
Brilliant.
Oh, like, what did he expect? What does he expect from these speeches? Like, does he think he's gonna be like applauded or what? Because he goes in and blurts out all of this rubbish as if he's expecting a standing ovation or something. It's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, does he even really know what he's... Well, no, but... It's hard to even critique him anymore because you can't fucking make sense of him in the first place to come up with a critique.
You come out of it just confused.
Yeah.
Trying to piece together what you've seen first.
Exactly. Oh, God, give fucking... Mail Online my bloody AdSense now. Okay, what's this one then? Oh, what? Okay. No, they can't do that. They can't do that. That's illegal. I just brought up the hang on. I've got fucking whitelist Mail Online, for fuck's sake. Okay, so I'm looking at the next thing you put through to us, but
yeah. And what is that?
Venus is a Russian planet.
Yeah.
Roscosmos chief declares after study suggests there's life on the planet. Pretty sure that's illegal.
So just because there's life, you may have discovered life on the planet, that makes it eligible to claim, does it? Is that the rules? Is that what they're trying to get at?
Now, the way I understand it, where the fuck is add to whitelist? Don't run on this page. Okay, so there's like an international space treaty or something.
Mm-hmm.
Space treaty, and it has like a load of certain agreements on things like weapons and stuff like that. Like, don't put weapons of mass destruction in space or in orbit and stuff like that.
Yeah, can you imagine how lethal that would be to have in orbit?
Yeah. So
literally pinpoint anyway and fire them, and it would be hard to stop, man.
Yeah, exactly. So state parties commit not to place in orbit around the Earth or other celestial bodies any nuclear weapons or objects carrying WMD, install WMDs on celestial objects, stations in outer space or any other manner, establish military bases, installations, or test any type of weapons, or conduct military exercises on the moon or any other celestial bodies. So they're not allowed to do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure there's something to say that no one on Earth can claim the land outside of Earth as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's why the moon isn't American. Space should be accessible to all countries and can be freely and scientifically investigated. So that kind of comes into conflict with the Venus being Russian. Space and celestial bodies are exempt from national claims of ownership. Boom. Schooled you, Russia.
So how
But it's Russia, they don't care. Because it's Russia and they don't care.
It's like they're looking for this kind of like, if you was to try and claim that it wasn't, they would almost probably see that as kind of act of war. This is our land. How dare you try and take our land?
Exactly. It's certainly interesting. Whatever they're trying to, I bet they found oil or something.
They found some sort of resource, surely.
Because they've already like made all their claims on the Arctic shelf recently, to try and grab the oil up by there. Now the bergs have melted.
I mean, even just alien life itself, if you was to gather that would be so expensive.
Oh yeah. Oh God. 200 years. 200 years, right? And we'll have finally eradicated racism. And instead, there'll be speciesism.
Can you imagine? Yeah. That's the next step.
We'll be venophobic. Or Martian-phobic, I guess. Martian-phobe, venophobe.
Oh, it'll happen.
Let's see. Like, they're gonna end up being the new slaves, aren't they, realistically?
Yeah.
Can't we just do better? Countries exploring space are responsible and liable for any damage their activities may cause. Space exploration is to be guided on principles of cooperation and mutual assistance, such as obligating astronauts to provide aid to one another if needed. So that kind of sums it up. But yeah, Russia shouldn't be allowed to make claim of Venus. But let's see what they're trying to say to justify it. That's not the right article. I just whitelisted you. Why are you... Thank you. Okay, let's see. During a speech at... I just whitelisted you. What? Ads allow us to feed your daily addiction to the world's greatest news, sport, and gossip.
Just subscribe, man.
I'm sorry, on the Mail Online. On the Fail Online. That can't even tell that it's on a whitelist for my ad blocker. Okay, don't run ads on this site. Alright, let's try that. Still not working. What have I got? Just fucking uninstall it from Chrome. Fuck you guys. Fuck you, Daily Mail. Assholes.
Okay. Find another website.
What do you mean? I'm not using an ad blocker. Okay, so there's another strategy I can use. There we go. If you don't if you stop it from refreshing before the pop-up comes up, then it doesn't load it. Great, that, isn't it?
Hey.
Wish I'd done that before I uninstalled my ad blocker.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So, during a speech at the 2020 Hilo-Russia exhibition, the head of Russia's state space agency, Dmitry Rogozin, Dmitry, claimed the country was the first and only one to land on the planet. Believe that's true. And there's a sick video that I can never seem to dig up anymore.
Wait, on Venus?
Yeah. It actually records up until all of the equipment just fails because of the acidic atmosphere.
Yeah.
His statement comes after experts from the UK have said they found signs of phosphine in Venus's atmosphere, suggesting the planet must support unknown chemical processes or even life. That's basing it off the idea that we have phosphine in or phosphine was around at the early stages of the Earth.
It's a long shot.
It is a long shot, and it's making a lot of assumptions that life would happen the same way. However, that being said, I've always made a lot of people make this argument for Mars. Like, we come from Mars to Earth. I always make that argument for Venus because given climate change science, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
Venus is a good outlook.
It's like it's described as having a runaway greenhouse effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, naturally, that would put Venus as like the first sort of the first suspect for being art. What do you mean you can see I'm using an ad blocker? I'm not, and you shouldn't be loading your page, you cuck. Where was I? Oh yeah, so yeah, the whole runaway greenhouse effect and everything. It puts Venus as first subject for being like the last Earth.
Definitely.
The only question now is whether or not we've like waited out long enough on Earth before Venus is ready.
Yeah.
If we've got enough time. So oh shit, looks like they're planning another expedition to Venus. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm fine with them claiming it, so long as we get to see more of Venus's atmosphere and stuff.
That's good to say now, but
Send a probe down.
when we looking into the future, I can see that being quite a problem.
Yeah.
Like, why are we doing things like this? Why are we not just all trying to help each other to discover what's out there?
I know, right? Actually, on that kind of vein, this is interesting, but the UK research was carried out by astronomer Jane Greaves of Wales Cardiff University, repping the Welshies.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
And colleagues observed Venus using both the James Clerk Maxwell telescope at Hawaii and the large millimeter submillimeter array in Chile. Fair. Apparently, phosphine smells like garlic or decaying fish.
Either or. Like, they surely smell like different things.
I know, right? Stop it! I'm not using an ad blocker, you cunts!
May have stopped the refresh a little too early. Oh, go.
Let's see. So apparently phosphine is released by microorganisms in the absence of oxygen. So that would have been like when our planet was all CO2 and we had like those like amoebas and stuff that were harvesting on the CO2 and then pumping out oxygen.
Yes.
So let's see. Despite the latest, it can also be released in small amounts from the breakdown of organic matter, or industrially synthesized in chemical plants. That spun me the fuck out.
Yeah.
Then.
So it's definitely linked
chemical
to
plants.
life of some sort.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I can see why they're getting a bit excited.
Despite the latest discovery, researchers have cautioned that life is only one possible explanation for the source of phosphine. Further investigation needed. Get over there, Russia. Just don't steal Venus, please.
I mean, Venus is very fucked up, and there's a lot of things going on. I'd be surprised if there wasn't some sort of chemical reaction going on.
Yeah, like the entire thing is a chemical reaction, essentially.
It's basically a petri dish.
Like, what is this? Why does the Mail spawn all of these headlines? Like, why is the news page so long?
Oh, do you know what it's like? It's
like look how
Bebo.
Like clearly meant to be an ad in this white space. And then you look through and it goes down to, like, look at the scroll bar, yeah?
Yeah.
Look at the fucking scroll bar. That's the end of the article.
Yeah, that's the end of the article there.
And then you got all of this. No wonder it fucking refreshes and tries to get you to load the ads.
Fuck?
All of this, all of that is just ads. That's all generated just purely so that they can put more ads there. Fuck
Played
the
like
Mail.
that. That's a weird way of doing it.
And that's why I think that one of the reasons I think that all the news in the UK should be non-profit. Like, because like this is what we need. This is the information here. We don't need all of this. Like, everything below there is just to generate profit for themselves.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, it's not as if we just get this bit and then you're good. It would be scattered with ads so that you get down to, like, maybe there before you get to the end of the article, and then there's even more ads below it. Right. Digress, moving on. I'm raging enough about the Daily Mail. Next bit. More spacey stuff, is it, but?
Is
Oh,
it?
yeah, I can remember
yes,
seeing
yeah,
about this. multiple water bodies found under surface of Mars.
So as
So
we were
they've
saying,
been
from Venus, where we people are kind of saying that this is where we hailed from. Another planet which people say that we may have hailed from, Mars.
I think we're going there next. And the water's only gonna... the fact that we found water is only confirming that for me.
Yeah, defo.
Like, let's assume that there's some microorganisms under that ice, yeah? We heat up the planet, and then... So we heat up the planet, so then there's a fair bit of, like, vapor in the atmosphere and stuff like that. So then it can start harvesting... we could, like, pump it with... I suppose we'd have to either pump it with vapor or, like, start generating oxygen, I guess. But those amoebas could... if we heat up the planet, those amoebas start creating oxygen from CO2. And give it 100, 200 years, it's habitable. Yeah. And then we go just in time for us to fuck off from Earth after we fucked up another planet with the greenhouse effect.
Hop over to that one. It's cooler.
Literally.
But then once we get to Mars, we're going to know where else to go.
Yeah, and Mars is smaller than Earth, isn't it?
It is smaller than Earth, yeah. One
of the reasons that it doesn't have, like, liquid water on, at least one of the speculations for the reason why, like, it's not big enough to hold the water to it.
And it's not stable at all. There's nothing stable about Mars.
Yeah, it doesn't even have, like, a stable sort of rotational axis or whatever, does it?
It's got no moon, so it's got nothing to anchor it in a certain position, so it tilts on a 60-degree angle, which, that's not good.
It's quite extreme compared to the Earth.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what, 15, is it?
It's 23.5, so it stays, and obviously with the moon anchoring the Earth, it'll cause it to stay in that position, which is good for us.
Yeah. Like, also the moon gives us the tides and everything from the gravitational pull.
Very, very important.
I wonder what Earth would be like with no tides.
Yeah.
Like, how would that work?
Imagine if the moon was just to disappear now. Like, what immediate effect? Like, surely you'd see an immediate effect.
Tsunamis, the opposite end of the world that it was on, for sure. I would say, because think of it this way: like, the way the tides work is that the moon is kind of gravity pulling the water to the one side of the planet, innit? So if the moon just suddenly shoots off out of orbit, then that leaves all the water to just fall into purely Earth's orbit and kind of send a shockwave from, I guess, the point of which the moon was its closest. So I imagine that would probably cause, at the very least, some tidal waves all about the place.
I mean, the moon is moving away from Earth at a rate of 3.78 centimeters a year. So we're not in any trouble anytime soon.
Not yet, no. I wonder, like, at what point it would actually just, like, fly off, like, fall out of orbit.
According to this, billions of years.
I imagine, yeah, but, like, I want to know, like, the distance. Imagine it like you see the moon, and then the next night you just see it kind of starting to speed away.
Yeah.
How wild would that be?
Oh yeah, you just see it fucking get smaller and
disappear. I imagine it'd probably feel weird at night as well, because we weren't, like, granted, I don't know how much you really feel gravity, but I bet you'd be able to feel a difference, like when the moon's overhead compared to if it weren't there.
Does it say how much how big
So-
bodies of water are.
So it's along the South Pole, they're saying.
Yes.
There's a whole set of lakes that probably formed relatively easily, apparently. And they're speculating that these lakes. Oh, what was it? If that was the case, then these could have served as home for alien life that flourished when Mars was more easily habitable. Assuming that it was ever easily habitable, and not that we went the opposite direction. While the existence of a single subglacial lake could have attributed to exceptional conditions such as the presence of a volcano under the ice sheet, the discovery of an entire system of lakes implies their formation process is relatively simple and common, and that these lakes have probably existed for much of Mars's history. For this reason, they could still retain traces of any life forms that could have evolved while Mars had a dense atmosphere, a milder climate, and presence of liquid water on the surface, similar to the early Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like amoebas and stuff like that. 5 open premium comments.
Yes.
The presence of water does not automatically mean the presence of life. Humans can products in brine on Earth, where there is abundance of life, because brine acts as a preservative and is lethal to life. There is no reason to presume that brine on Mars will be any different. Eh? Ah. Hypersaline solutions. The lakes are like salt lakes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. But then what about the sea? Because that's salty. So there's like things living in the sea, like bacteria living in the sea. So what? Why is Mars excluded just because they got a salty lake?
Mm.
And that's also assuming that life would be the same on every planet.
Oh yeah, yeah. There are many other factors that will come into play when determining what kind of life would be on the planet.
I read gravity would even come into it for sure. Because
Yeah,
a human's, in theory, a human made of the same composition, scaled up to say 10 times the size, wouldn't be able to survive.
No.
Like the weight of their bones and like they essentially collapse in on themselves. They wouldn't be able to support themselves standing that tall and being that heavy under this gravity.
It'd be very interesting when they actually do make these trips to Mars and they set it up there, and then they eventually get around to making return trips.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, because you won't be able to walk right for a start.
Yeah, that's like what's the gravity on Mars versus Earth and the Moon? Gravity on Mars is 3.7 meters per second squared. 38, but only 38% the gravity of Earth.
That's crazy. Like, it's not 38% of the size, like scaled down.
Yeah, damn. The Earth's gravity is 9.807 meters per second squared. But ms squared, so what? I don't... Or is that the speed, the terminal velocity? Does it measure like gravity by terminal velocity or something?
Yeah, potentially.
compared to the moon's gravity of 1.68, or just 17% of Earth's gravity. So Mars is only barely about double the gravity of the moon. Oh, the strange, deadly effects Mars would have on your body.
Well, here we go. Let's dive in.
Blah, 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 blah. This is your body. This is your body on Mars. Yes, funny joke. Get on with it.
Tell us the good stuff, the juicy bits.
Yeah, just get, like, I'll probably read this later, but without the quadriceps, butt-off calves, and erectus spinae that surround the spinal column and keep it stand, pull of gravity would collapse the human body into a fetal ball and leave it close to the floor. These muscle groups are sculpted by the force of gravity in a state of constant exercise, perpetually loaded and unloaded as we go about our daily lives. That's why the mass of flesh that constitutes the bulk of our thighs and works to extend and straighten the knee are the fastest wasting group in the body. Knees strong?
Okay.
Our bones, too, are shaped by the force of gravity. We tend to think of our skeleton as pretty inert, a little more than scaffolding to hang flesh on, a biological armor, a system of biological armor. Ooh. But at the microscopic level, it's much more dynamic, constantly altering its structure to contend with the gravitational forces it experiences, weaving itself an architecture that best protects the bone from strain. Deprived of gravitational load, bones fall prey to a kind of spaceflight-induced osteoporosis. And because 99% of our body is calcium is stored in the skeleton, it wastes away. The calcium finds its way into the bloodstream, causing yet more problems, from constipation to renal stones to psychotic depression.
Wow, so a lot of internal effects.
So you can get depression from lack of gravity.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it would have a mental effect, really.
So what happens if you grow a human completely exclusive of gravity then? Like just living on a space station, raised on a space station, like out of Earth's gravity even. Like, how would...
He gonna be one thin
Would they
boy.
be tall? Would they be taller, thinner? Would
Definitely
they
thinner,
just
surely.
grow weird?
They'd have no muscle mass. They'd never be able to build muscle.
Yeah, because they'd never have like any real, like they'd never have much of anything to sort of get them started with it.
No.
Like, so with Mars being, what was it, a third of the gravity of Earth?
Yeah. Well, 34%-ish.
So they're in a lot of like old ancient texts and stuff like that, especially Egyptians and Mayans. They speak a lot about and they depict a lot of giants and stuff like that. So the gravity situation almost kind of gives credence to the idea that we've been visited by aliens on Mars because of these giant humanoids. Like, what if the Martians did come to Earth when their planet just got shot to shit, but we were already here and we kind of like took them in and thought of them as gods or whatever because they come from another planet and helped us with a load of technology and stuff. But then, of course, whatever destroyed the Mayans and the Egyptians happened, and we were set back a bit, and all the giants died off because obviously they can't really survive very well on Earth because they've got so much more mass and like but yet weaker. Because they'd have it's making me think that it'd give them longer bones, weaker bones, and weaker muscles. So they'd get tall, weren't they? But I don't think they wouldn't be able to survive on Earth long. I don't think, because everything would be a struggle, wouldn't it? They'd be weak for their size. They'd be pretty weak. So
also your body will be like almost constantly compressed by this what would feel like a massive weight.
Kind of makes sense as to why they're always like kneeling down or sat down or something and kind of being worshipped as something or other. Like they're sat down all the time because they were just lethargic and tired all the time because they didn't have the energy to stay awake on Earth.
I think at that point, I think that would break bones just doing simple tasks.
That point. And they have found massive human bones. Like, I forget where the last one was. Big human bone.
Big human bone.
Big human bone. Well, that's not a big human. He's got a revolver by there.
You sure that wasn't like a Neanderthal? Because Neanderthal, I think, were bigger than humans.
I think they were mostly about the same. They just had slightly different bone structures.
Lol.
What do you think about the idea of mermaids and stuff? But that, like, do you reckon we might have like some humanoid associates in the ocean that are just staying the fuck away from us because we're idiots?
I haven't explored 80% of the ocean, so like you can't rule it out.
Yeah, it's like with us saying like, there's no aliens on Mars just because we can't see all of it or we can't see them. It's like, well, we've explored fuck all of it.
They could be in the very dark, dark parts of the ocean, like where they've developed this kind of vision, so they'd never need, or maybe like any kind of lighter. Well, as you come towards the surface, it's too blinding, so they have to stay below in the very dark depths of because of predators as well. I mean, a human kind of mermaid thing would be kind of vulnerable to a lot of predators, like sharks. Like, what the fuck is a human mermaid going to do against a shark?
Yeah, well, actually, that could explain why dolphins help humans out so much in shark attacks.
Yeah, from past experiences.
Yeah, they think, oh, it's merman. Wait, we're your tail.
Different,
Oh no, he ate tail. Let help.
Have you seen the documentary about mermaids? It's kind of it's very dramatized. It's obviously not real, but it's interesting.
Okay, so I've got something that's kind of debunking the idea. Oh, and recent as well. 2014 Mars photo that is strangely resurfaced in tabloids this month. This is probably what I've seen. Does not show a femur amongst the rubble of the red planet. Like all such photos to date, the object you see is just a plain old Mars rock. And NASA debunked it 6 years ago.
Ouch.
Oof.
I mean, yeah, it is more than likely not going to be a bone, right?
Yeah, probably not. Especially like right up on the surface, above the dust.
Like they're gonna have
like unlikely.
A lot of rocks. Like some of them are gonna look like some things that we've seen before.
Phenomenon. Actually, funny you say that. That's called a phenomenon called pareidolia. Probably butchered the pronunciation of that. It's thought to occur when some parts of the brain's process visual information and jump to conclusions before the rest of your brain catches up, so it makes assumptions for you. I think that's sort of what happens when you hallucinate on like psychedelics and stuff like that as well. Like, because you have that filter broken down, supposedly, like the information filter, then your brain's just kind of going crazy with the pareidolia and trying to figure out all this new shit you're seeing and creating stuff out of nothing. The Mars Bigfoot? Teeny little Bigfoot on Mars. Is that the picture? Yes.
Let's have a look then.
Left nav cam.
I'm going to guess it's not a very clear photo.
Yeah, not even in the slightest. Bun that bit. Many rocks of soft place of evidence of bear. Most famous was perhaps a picture region called Sidonia in 1976, thought to show a massive sculpture of a face. Later, high-resolution images showed us it was just a rock formation.
Of course it's a rock.
Ah, yeah, that. I can remember that. Some stuff come up about that recently, didn't it?
Like, that would be fucking huge.
Oh, yeah. So that's the original batch processed image. These are some newer, higher resolution pictures. So it was just a lot of sort of... The
Thinking
thing
about
is,
the
though...
gravity of it all, like, something that size wouldn't be able to support its own weight.
What's that now?
I mean, how big are we talking? Like, if this is its face, like, how big is...
Well, I don't think it's so much supposed to be like an actual being, more of a sculpture.
Wow, okay.
So what I just thought, so think about like Stonehenge and stuff, yeah? Or the pyramids. There's a certain time of the year where they line up exactly with the precession of the sun with Stonehenge and Orion's belt for the pyramids of Giza. So what if this is a similar sort of monument made so that where on like certain dates or whatever, viewed from the right angle with the sun hitting right, you would be able to see the face of a person or of a humanoid. And it's sort of like the whole pyramids thing.
I doubt it.
Probably. I'm really stretching.
Yeah,
but it strikes me with how the shadows are cast, you know?
Mm.
But yeah, it's probably natural. Damn low resolution photos. The DM Pyramid. Oh, is this
What's that?
Oh, interactive. No, I want the interactive map. What do you mean? Or is this? What? Oh, right. Can we click things and go to it? Oh, that's cool. So we can go to different bits of topology on Mars. From the wiki. That's actually cool as fuck. So would that roughly be the face maybe, or that? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's very hard to tell from
So it's in a region called Sidonia, they said, wasn't it? Uranius Patera. So is that like, are these the lakes that they were on about? Or do they mean like all of this as the lakes? Like, which is this laid out north to south, and is it the whole thing? God damn, mapped onto a bloody sphere, but yeah. So I guess that's the southernmost lake they were talking about.
Mm.
So Mars would have looking at the topography. Then Mars is still in a sort of weird. So if it did have water the same as Earth, it would be in this weird sort of what do you call it? Pangea state, where it's all connected. It's interesting. What I'm curious about, though, is these valleys. Like, what? That looks insane. That looks like some meteors has come and grazed through the fucking surface of it.
Yeah.
And shot off.
Big.
God damn. But then, looking at it here, it looks more like it's like a sort of river or something, I guess. I assume this brown would be some of the highest points, right? That's crazy, though. It looks like it's proper huge, to be fair. So, like, looking at it... Come on, load. God damn. It's big picture. Big boy picture. Damn it. Give me picture. Right, we'll leave that to load. We're getting a bit distracted. So yeah, that's super interesting. Water bodies found on Mars. Like, damn. So, next up, this is something that I seen through the week, which just, it's what Piers Morgan said. Piers Morgan went on Twitter about the whole thing about clubs and restaurants closing at 10. He said, as someone who grew up in a pub, if you close earlier, the drunkards will just drink more quicker.
Exactly.
Nightclubs are now open from 3 p.m. with half-price drinks to beat 10 p.m. coronavirus curfew. Because that's entirely the point. Well done.
Yeah. And then let's not, like, there's also the fact that these people are leaving drunk and going, oh, yeah, let's get some booze and just fucking go to people's houses making drunk decisions.
Yeah. And the stupidest thing about all of this, right, is the... Like, nothing's being done to say, like, no, don't do that, all that. So everyone's going to think, like, oh, it's fine then. Fuck it. It's fucking half price. They want us to go fucking help the economy.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And then they're blaming us anyway. It's just, I don't...
They do need to address issues like this. To make sure that people know that this is not actually a good idea.
Turtle Bay, a Caribbean restaurant chain, is offering a bottomless brunch with unlimited cocktails from 10 a.m.
Gotta get it
10 a.m.
Yeah, boy.
I'm barely woken up by 10. Who
So
the
for the
fuck
fact
is
that,
on the unlimited cocktails at 10?
I like how, like, so let's say the nightclub closes at like 3 a.m. in the morning. So they lose about 5 hours in the night.
Yeah.
So they open for like an extended like 10 to 12 hours throughout the day.
Yeah, it's not the best logic, is it?
It's making these places more accessible.
Yeah, like they're literally just gonna get more people in. More people are gonna be encouraged. Because, like I said, it's as if it's gonna be like okayed. That's the attitude that everyone's had so far, pretty much, isn't it? Like, it's open, so it must be okay. It must be fine. There's other people there.
Yeah.
Like, not, oh shit, there's a lot of people there. Why are there so many people there so early right now? Like, maybe it's not a good idea for me to go in, even if it is fine and I'm wearing a mask. I don't see fucking masks in this picture.
It's like, what am I missing out on? I need to do this.
Jesus.
Disgusting.
On Twitter, Turtle Bay, the 10 a.m. cocktails place, Turtle Bay said, "Guess we'll just have to start a little bit earlier then, Boris." That's in pretty bad taste, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, it's kind of like the government saying, right, we're going to do these things to make sure that more lives are saved. And then Turtle Bay's like, fuck you, we're going to kill more people.
Coronavirus curfew sees police patrol ghost town streets as bars empty within minutes. I hate this idea of curfew so much. Luckily, it doesn't particularly apply to me, because when am I ever out of the house in the first place? Never mind after 10. But I still hate it. It's skeevy. Like, it makes me think too much of V for Vendetta. Like, the whole plot for that, the setup for the plot for that is that there was a virus going around. So they set up a load of laws and restrictions and everything. And that was the last they heard of it. Virus never ended. Neither did any of the restrictions. And Britain slowly turned into a totalitarian state. Which is, that's why I don't like the idea, like, these curfews and, like, martial law and stuff like that. But, I mean, granted, you should probably get the drunk idiots home. Yeah. But also, the way this is going, I've seen people on Twitter, like, stating these intentions or actions or whatever. Like, people are still going out to bars or clubs, and then at 10 they grab whatever bird they were with or whatever, go to the shop, get another glass of wine, and then head back to either or's place. It's like, you're not meant to, though.
Yeah, but they'll make these drunken decisions.
Like, Boris has finally clarified to say that he doesn't want us organising to meet our mates at pubs.
Yeah.
So,
how do you regulate?
Why do you
that?
think? Why do you think that you can go into a stranger's house if you can't even meet your mates at a beer garden?
Because they got this mindset of, we can just meet at the pub. I'll meet you at the pub. Oh, wait, we can't go to each other's houses, but we can meet each other at the pub. And then they get to that mindset of thinking, oh, well, if we can meet at the pub, why can't we come to each other's house? It's
like those little mini justifications, isn't it?
Yeah, because you can't regulate it. Like, you could easily say, I could say to you, just meet me at the pub. Like, we'll pretend that we don't know each other, and then get in and then sit on tables next to each other and then talk.
Yeah.
And then have a pint.
It's just, I don't get it. I hear it on the radio as well. Nicola Sturgeon got interviewed over some of the new restrictions and stuff that they put in like the Edinburgh University. So she was asked a slew of fucking stupid questions. It started off with the whole thing about how a load of basically the entirety of, I think it was either Edinburgh or Glasgow University, got an email to their student email accounts asking them to isolate for the entire weekend. Like, don't go out, don't go to clubs, don't do anything, stay in all weekend, please. So obviously everyone's up in arms about that. One of the first questions, actually one of the only good questions that was asked her, is why just those in uni? Like, why not? Like, if it's younger people that are supposedly passing it around at the moment, like that's where the infection's coming from, as they've been saying. Then why just those in uni? Like, because like the Scottish government put out guidance to say, like, if a student comes into a bar, don't serve them. Well, why if you're 18 but you're not a student? You go into a bar, you drink. So what's stopping someone who's not a student from going in saying they're not a student and drinking? Exactly. So why not just 18 to 30? Like 18 to 30, everyone stay indoors this weekend, and that's it, to help prevent to help like flatten the curve, or whatever the fuck they're calling it at this point. Stop at the second wave. Who knows what it is at this point? But so she didn't really have an answer for that. Annoyingly, I thought it was a pretty decent idea. Really made a lot more sense than just keeping everyone from 2 unis in when they're not gonna fucking listen in the first place, most likely, or at least half of them won't. So she then went on to get asked a load of questions, stupid questions about like the technicalities of like whether or not you can see your missus and stuff like that, or so she said, like, oh yeah, that's an exception if you're in a relationship but you're not but you don't cohabit, then that's an exception. You're allowed to go see your missus. So then he's like, what about friends with benefits? Because it's not always clear cut. And she's just, oh, come on. Come on, really? It was fucking hilarious to listen to. Like, you could tell she was just like this the entire time. Like, but like, honestly, if there was ever, which there was, there were doubts about whether you could see your other half, right? So if there were ever doubts about that, which there were, why the fuck would you assume that now when we're talking about a second wave, that one night stands are going to be okay?
Yeah.
Or even friends with benefits.
A very intimate interaction.
That's fine. I'm practicing safe sex. She's facing the wall.
Oh, man.
Can you remember when that actually come out in some of the news places?
Yeah.
Advising us how to have safe sex during COVID?
Yeah.
Fuck off. I am just not have sex. Like, controversial, but it's a lot fucking easier. Like, and that's not that's not because I can't get it. Shut up. But like, is it really that difficult? Honestly, is it really like what is the big fucking deal? Like, how is all of this so hard? I don't understand. I just genuinely don't understand how some of this can be so hard. Like, if you can't see your nan, you can't shag a random bird from down the road.
If you can't see your mates.
Yeah, if you can't see your specially designated social bubble, you can't fuck a random stranger. I
guarantee a lot of that.
Like, you can't fuck your friends with benefits, even if they're in your social bubble.
Yeah.
So why is that so difficult? I don't get it. I really don't get it. It's just police breaking up a fight in Soho. Not a single mask to be seen.
Brilliant.
What? Curfew inspectors were spotted patrolling central London first night of the government's new 10 p.m. curfew. The marshals wandered around the bustling streets of Soho searching for illegal speakeasies.
Mm.
What? Do you know what that means?
No. What?
Is that like Cockney rhyming slang or something, maybe? Speakeasies, illegal taverns that sell alcoholic beverages. Come to... Okay. Speakeasy, also called a blind pig or blind tiger, is an illicit... I like the term blind pig. That makes...
I think I've actually heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, so it mostly came into prominence during the Prohibition. So essentially a speakeasy is a bar that's operating illegally. So being that there's a curfew, if they're carrying on, then it's a speakeasy, I guess. I just had a thought that I'll share with you after the podcast.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so that's that bit. Thought that was a bit dumb, but yeah.
Yeah, that is something.
What can you do? So, football.
Football.
Okay, football. So what am I looking at here, mate? Oh,
right,
fucking, that's loud.
There is a lot of controversy.
So is this a free kick or
let me explain.
Penalty.
First.
Free kick, right? Because there's people like in between him and the goalkeeper,
yeah.
right? Hey, I know something.
You got that right. Fair play. Have you heard of VAR in football?
No.
So this is the video assistant referee.
Right. Video assisted ref, right.
So this come into play, I think, last year for all Premier League matches and Champions League and whatever. So basically, obviously, how it was done before, there's a referee and linesman and a referee behind the goal, and they would obviously make the calls. But then I think like 2017, 2018, there were a lot of mistakes coming through. There were a lot of goals, say, over the line, and the guy behind the line wasn't spotting it, so goals are not given. Yeah. And when you're talking about football,
I can remember you ranting about a few of them.
Yeah. So when you're talking about football, you're talking about billions of pounds, really, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So they thought it was a good idea to bring in VAR, and for the most part, it works very well. I mean, you can literally have a video-assisted referee behind the camera, so that the referee on field calls for VAR. That is then checked by another referee who can check the camera, so you can check if the ball's over the line. They can check for intentional fouls. They can check for penalties.
Yeah.
But it's come under a bit of controversy recently. Well, last weekend, because of its use for handball. So in football, obviously, you cannot use your hands.
Yeah.
But how it was used, how it was how referees would kind of decide on it was that if it's not intentional.
Right. If it's an accident, they won't be so, right.
Because people have arms and something they're just down by your side and the ball hits it. But now with VAR, the referee's kind of got to check if there's handball. So when you're kind of...
Yeah, because the VAR can't tell, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you have someone checking it and you're showing the millions of people this clip of them checking it, and they are seeing the ball touch the hand, even if it's not intentional, the rules say that that's a foul.
Right.
You can't touch the ball with your hands. So what we've been finding recently is that, especially last weekend, I think there were maybe three penalties given for unintentional handballs.
Right.
So yeah, we're finding that there's been a lot more of these problems, and therefore it's been predicted that last season in the Premier League alone there was 91 penalties given, I think. But it's predicted with VAR there's going to be 280 penalties given because of all the things that they're picking up on.
Right.
And so they're looking at kind of maybe changing the ruling a little bit to let
VAR OP Plisnov.
Exactly. There's been a lot of penalties recently, and it's getting a bit out of hand. So if you play the clip from where it is now, you should kind of see what I'm getting at. So this is where VAR is being used. The ball strikes the player in white's hand unintentionally. You can see that it's not intentional, and a penalty is given. So normally, without VAR, the referee would kind of look at this and say,
"Oh wait, that's not the fucking." I was watching on as if he was replaying it then. Right.
So this is a free kick for Juan. That's nothing. So this one now.
Oh right, that's nothing. Okay.
Yeah. It should be after this.
Right. I get you. So I didn't need to put it back.
No.
Right. Okay.
So this one here. It's headed down and it hits the player's arm. You'll see on the replay.
Okay.
VAR. This is them looking. Oh.
So I suppose that blue line's the offside.
Yeah. So the player's onside.
Another thing, right?
Yeah, here we go. You understand it. So when so you can see that it hits his arm there. You can see there's no intentional.
Let's put that back.
At all.
Yeah, you couldn't even see that shit. Didn't even hit that. Barely even hit his arm. Went on his elbow.
His arm's there. Like he has arms. When you jump,
yeah, like
they go up.
That's just him balancing, like trying to like throw himself to get the header or whatever he was going for.
So a penalty was given
like,
for this
kind of thing, innit? Like the arm's gonna come up with the motion.
Exactly. But then there is the argument of that. Well, that could have prevented a goal. If your arm wasn't up, the ball could have gone down and ended up at someone's feet, and they could have scored. So there is that argument.
Right.
So that's where it gets a bit tricky. So obviously they score, and the match ends 1-1. So the Spurs, who played in white, don't get the win. And like I said, when you're talking about football, especially if this was happening to the lower teams, then you would be talking about millions and millions and millions of pounds staying up the season or going down, you know.
Yeah,
so what is your take on that? How would you see that? How would you give that?
All right, let's watch it over again, shall we? I'm too early. Okay, so
it's after this one. Yeah.
Can barely even see it happen there.
Yeah.
Oh, so it hit the back of his arm by there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's slow this shit down.
Yeah. Put the 0.25 on that.
So it hits that guy's head, and he smacks it
there with his arm, kind of as it's going up there.
So that's towards the goal that he's attacking, right?
Yeah, and if you look at the direction of the ball at that point, it does look like it could fall to one of these players who was standing closer to the goal.
Yeah. So that's where it hit his arm. It would have likely, I don't know, I feel like it would have come by there, maybe this guy, 35, is it? I feel like he might have intercepted if it didn't hit that guy's arm. So...
Because I think it should also be given on how much the arm has obstructed where the ball is going to go.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, wouldn't have been a lot in this situation. And
It doesn't look like a lot's happening, but then again, you can hear them all like, "Oh!" So do you know? Are they just assuming that's handball, and that's why they're not rushing it?
Yeah. Well,
because you can see a lot of the guys in black
Yeah.
are just
Yeah,
standing about.
they'll always be looking. If they spot, even if they spot an arm in the air, but they don't actually see connection, they'll always shout at the ref because there's a
Yeah.
chance. And then if the referee checks it and then it ends up being right, then like a lot of the time VAR is called upon because of players running at the referee shouting at him, which is a little bit wrong. But
That sound though. Okay. See, I feel like it would have
Smooth.
played out pretty much the exact same way.
you'll never know.
I really feel like it would have played the same.
Let's see it from the other angle. Let it go
Yeah.
to the replay.
Okay,
So yeah,
here we
that's
go.
like
Here's the replay.
offside. It's onside. You can see that the white
Yep,
player is
yep.
with his back. So okay. Boom.
So it looks like it hits his back first, maybe? Hang on. Okay. One hit. Oh, no, that was pretty straight, to be fair. I thought it might have bounced off his back. But there's the second hit.
The hit on the arm.
And it ricochets up. So if we play that in its entirety...
It gains a little bit more air.
Yeah, it does. It does change the trajectory a little bit. It looks like it kind of like bounces off the bone in his arm by the ear and chips up a little.
It would have also taken the sting off the ball. Like the ball was kind of would have been going at speed, but he's taken all of the speed off the ball with his arm, obviously. So say normally without VAR and with just refereeing, that wouldn't be given. Like because the referee would be able to spot that that's unintentional.
Yeah, like he is entirely in the air and facing the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's not really justified. Spurs probably should have won that.
So then, yeah, you have VAR comes into play, confirms it's a handball, and then the rules say if he's used his arm and has changed the trajectory of the ball, especially in an attacking position, then that's wrong. It's a foul. It goes against you. So there was several on the weekend like this, unintentional handballs.
Okay. So someone's having a Carragher. It's a joke, apparently. This is a joke. All right. Well, that is that's interesting, to be fair. Like,
what would so how would you give that?
I would have let it play. I feel like I would have let it play because.
Well, it did play. They did play, but the ball cleared. They cleared the ball.
How do you mean? What does that mean?
So if you continue, Spurs end up getting the ball and clearing the ball away. So it ended up not being
right
an attacking chance.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like that would have happened either way. The only
Yeah, I
difference
also feel like
was that the other team seen that there was a handball, so they stuck their thumbs up their asses.
Yeah, and then when you bring VAR into play, there's a lot more pressure on the decision.
Yeah.
And when you know that the decision is if you touch the ball with your hand, it's wrong. It's hard to say, well,
Yeah.
I've seen the VAR and he has touched the ball with his hand, but I'm not going to give it.
Now, see, what I'm thinking, right? The vibe I'm getting right now is that VAR is almost being weaponized.
Mm-hmm.
Like every opportunity that they think that they might be able to use it to, change the play or whatever. It seems like they go because the way that the Blacks were all hanging about there at the end of that play, like calling for the handball.
It's desperation, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And Newcastle, was it Newcastle versus
Newcastle,
Spurs?
yeah,
Newcastle
right.
versus Spurs. So Newcastle were losing, right?
Yeah. So they needed the goal.
And Spurs are a bit of a smaller team, right?
No, Spurs are a bigger team.
Oh,
Well,
okay, fair.
They're both big teams, but like Spurs have got the better team.
I would have assumed Newcastle were like the bigger, more renowned one, you know?
Yeah, they are a big club. They're just not very. They're just not good
Fair enough.
anymore. They just haven't got the players.
Right.
But they got a massive
Okay.
fan base.
Home or away game?
Assuming that is Spurs home because of the kits they're wearing.
Ah, yeah. Don't know. Did Newcastle still have the stripy ones?
Yes, yeah. So they're
Right.
probably they're wearing their second kit because obviously colours.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, what I would say is if they're going to continue to use VAR, then it should be the ref's decision to use it, and it should be the ref's say at the end of it. So the ref has final say. He just uses it as like to look back and can take consideration rather than just kind of go in with whatever the VA whatever it's called says, VAR.
Yeah.
Like yeah, because at the moment it don't feel that doesn't feel very dynamic. It doesn't feel like much of a game. It seems more just underhanded, you know. Like I like you said, there's been a lot more fouls getting called out, a lot more penalties being given and stuff like that. And my first thought on that is it's maybe being excessive with it, you know. So we need a human component. I would say there should be 3 refs. How many refs are there?
There will be the guy who's on the pitch. There'll be 2 linesmen either side.
What's a linesman?
They are the guys to check for offsides, but they can also check for fouls if they're closer to the players.
So they're kind of refs then.
Yes, but they don't get the final say. So,
okay.
Like you have times where the linesman will call for a foul and the referee will say, "I'm sorry."
So the linesmen are the VAR.
Yes, for kind of basically. And then you have
they're the human VAR.
Yeah, you've then got an assistant behind the goal who checks for if the ball's gone over the line.
Right. Okay, so keep all of that, but we need 2 more refs. Those 2 refs are there for like redundancy to make sure there's no sort of favoritism. So you've got a ref on each side, I'd say, and then the main ref. So when VAR gets called in, I would say that the 3 refs have to look at the footage.
Yeah.
A minute or 2, and it's a bit long. Say 30 seconds to a minute. I don't know how long these take normally. So I'd say that those guys have to look over it on all the angles independently, then together, and then come discuss it and kind of come to a decision together on what they should do from it. And like share the opinion, so that way you've got 3 human sources trying to figure out what would have happened if it didn't happen, what would have happened if we just let it play, and how much different would that be to if it didn't happen. So then they should have the final decision over the VAR to decide what actually happens to keep the game, you know, human.
The only thing I'd say with that is that fans didn't like that it took the sting out of the game when they were checking for VAR. So with your method, it could add more time to checking VAR. So
True.
This up. But I mean, it would probably gain fairer results.
Yeah, and in theory, it would be called on less.
I actually have another one. I sent another one.
Sure.
This also happened on the weekend. It's same situation, but very different in the way it looks. And I would say this one looks like more of an obstruction.
Gotcha.
If you skip to 55.
Yeah, I got it. All right.
So.
Oh yeah. That I actually seen that one.
Yeah. So that
So,
one
Badoosh,
really kinda-
yeah, that was like 100. That could have 100% been going in. Okay, so let's just play through that, and we'll get slow mo on the VAR. So how long do these intervals normally last while they're checking VAR real time?
I would say like not too long, like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like they'd have enough time to like confer between themselves, you know?
Yeah, if they're all watching it, if they're all doing their individual roles in what they're checking, then they can all converse
Yeah.
and have kind of a vote. 2v1 wins, you know. It's better than one person's vote, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, did they do a VAR for it? Ah, there we go. Okay.
It was quite
Wait,
clearly an
so-
obstruction, and if
Yeah.
you look, the Everton player is running onto the ball that's going to be played on through there.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put it in slow mo now. So let's see. So ball headed to him. He barely looks like he touches it, yeah. So it gets reflected over. That honestly looks like it's the right angle to go in. And he rotates. And it just lands right on the top of his hand.
Again,
Boom.
I don't think it's intentional.
Probably not. Like
it's just
it's in the
fast,
moment, innit? It's like
that's
he's there, ready to like run after the guy.
Yeah.
So he sees the ball come and he's like, fuck, and rotates in the moment. It just bang hits his hand. But
Yeah.
that was an obstruction, I would say. Yeah, for sure.
that was definitely more of an obstruction.
Yeah. So let's see, 55. Let's see. From here.
Very interested in
though.
the direction. Like, say, can you see the player in the middle of the box who's going to be? He sees that
Yeah.
he could header this ball, and he's put that ball for him to run onto.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
interested to
100%.
see if he could have got to that ball.
It's very hard to see in that kind of.
Does it let it play on? Yeah. So hang on, where is the?
It's okay.
What happens to the ball after the header? Where does the ball? Where does the
So
ball
the
go?
ball basically goes straight. From here, he's headed it, and it's basically just gone straight that way, from what I can tell. Because you see his hand come out to by there. Can you
Yeah.
see my mouse?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you see his hand like come out round to by there, which comes in line with the ball. See? So it's like coming that way, sort of thing, by the looks of it. Which I haven't really paid too much attention to the way this guy's running. So let's look at that now. So that would be going up that way. He'd be going that way. Yeah, he'd probably be in around about the right area to kind of
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then,
make a decent attempt at the goal. Like,
because it hit the guy's hand, it's gone to the defender who's cleared it, rather than seeing like because that is the thing. Like you'll never know what would have happened if that didn't happen. So
I certainly don't think it would have been cleared like that.
no, the ball would have been more direct. There would have been more sting on the ball.
Yeah, 100%. Like, the way I can kind of imagine it happening is, so the ball would like run up there quite fast. I would probably get the goalkeeper to jump either way. And then this guy would end up running and shooting it the other way or some shit. You know? That's why I can kind of see it happening. Or he like jumps down to block it on the floor and then the other guy comes, chips it over him or some shit. Like, I don't know football. But that's my best guess.
I think you are grasping it pretty well, to be fair.
But yeah, that's interesting to be fair. Like, keep an eye on all that VAR stuff because I'd be quite interested to see. Yeah, I'd be quite interested to see. like the evolution of it, like where it goes from here and all that. Like, what I imagine they were already using AI for it, but I'd be interested to see like other ways that it's implemented and stuff like that. You know.
Let me just type in wrong VAR decision. Oh, I got the top 10 most controversial.
This bloody Mars image won't load. Like,
It's still going.
it just stopped.
Wow.
Just black screen, like worse
The
than
most-
watching porn in the 90s,
Struggle.
80s. We live in a remote area. It's basically the same thing. It's reloading it now because I pressed refresh. For fuck's sake. It loads it up for a second. Big Man Bones. While we wait, should we have a bit of a laugh?
It didn't take long.
Yeah, go on.
Presidential debate to devolve into a chaotic shouting match.
Shut up.
I can't hear it.
Former Vice President Joe Biden.
I don't know why, but I can't.
How strongly you feel.
Yeah, you won't be able to hear it through Discord, unfortunately, but you could get it on the Twitch.
Yeah, I literally am on the Twitch and I can't.
Can you not?
Vote
No.
now. Make sure you
Have you
in fact,
got-
let people know.
Have you got the right audio device on or something? Is it playing through the wrong thing? Because like
I
it's
mean-
coming. It is coming through the stream.
Wouldn't it just be what I'm hearing you through?
Sometimes it can be different in Discord to everything else. But yeah, especially like with putting your headphones in and stuff like that, it can kind of mess
No,
with
he
your
doesn't want
audio
to-
Oh, yeah, it is,
devices
yeah.
sometimes.
Okay, I
Yeah,
can hear
there
it
you
now.
go.
I'm not
There
gonna
you
answer
go.
the question
Why would
because,
you answer that
because
question?
the
You wanna
question
put a
is,
lot of-
people know
He doesn't wanna
you're a
answer.
senator.
Let's see.
Vote now.
gonna pack the
Make
court?
sure you
Biden.
know how
Are you gonna
strongly
pack
you
the
feel.
court?
Vote now.
gonna pack the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know
He doesn't wanna
you're a
answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why would
because
you answer that
because
question?
What a mess.
Like
Carnage.
Biden can barely construct a sentence. I don't blame him. With this guy fucking growling over the top, but like.
I'm not going to answer the question.
Why would you gonna pack the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know.
He doesn't.
Make sure you, in fact, let people know.
Feel. Vote now.
You do love to see
Let
it, though.
vote now. Policy good. Charlie Kelly bad. Hang on, what? Give me a second. I know exactly what I need. I wonder if we get thinged for that. I guess we probably get copyright. I was gonna put on the Charlie's speech for Dennis when he tries to become vote me good, many happy. I can't help but think of that. I
No, I know what you mean.
let vote now.
Let vote now.
gonna pack the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know
He doesn't wanna
you're a
answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why would
because
you answer that
because
question?
the
You wanna
question
put a
is
lot of
the
new
question
Supreme Court
is
justice,
the
radical
question.
left.
Will you
Who
shut
is
up,
your,
man?
Listen, who is on your
For 90 minutes, Trump constantly interrupted Biden's answers and even the moderator's questions and requests, resulting
Like-
in Americans hearing few details about Biden's policies. But one of the
Perfect
president's
strategy,
responses,
really.
or lack thereof, heard loud and
Right,
clear,
here we
was
go.
his refusal to condemn white supremacist groups.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing.
Again, going back to the beginning. Fear. Fascism can be left or right. What's your point?
Not from the right wing.
So what do you say?
How can he say not from the right wing when there are people on the right wing that live stream themselves massacring people. But yet, anti-fascism is the criminal organization.
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. You want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me.
Oh my God, he's looking with such bated breath, like that smile. Like, this is what I fucking hate about all of this. It's so much like left v right, blue versus red. Fuck. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a single fuck about what you think about the left, the right, what policy. They don't give a shit what kind of politics you care about. No, not even a little bit. They're just trying to get in fucking power. It doesn't matter to them. They're gonna do whatever the fuck they want anyway. So why the fuck would you let this happen as citizens? You you have two options and you want neither. Why would you let that happen?
Yeah.
Give me a name. Give me a
White
name.
supremacists and
Who would
right
you like me to condemn?
supremacists and right
Oh, for fuck's sake. So I just realized. Fucking the announcers shouting like white supremacist. Listen now, right? Listen, try and listen out for Biden.
White supremacists and
Who would
right
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back.
He suggests Proud Boys. Biden told him it's Biden's fault that, like, not to deflect anything from Trump because he's a fucking idiot, but it's Biden's fault that Trump didn't. Well, you know, it's kind of Biden's fault that Trump didn't denounce. Was that the word? Denounce? I can't speak English. I'm speaking worse English than these two. Yeah, so it listening to this, it's Biden's fault that Trump didn't denounce specifically white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, white supremacy, Proud Boys. He hears Proud Boys, he's like, Proud Boys, stand by. He egged him on to do that. Like,
white supremacists and right supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left.
And Biden.
But I'll tell you what.
Look how animated Biden is here.
Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left. Who would you like me to condemn?
He's got that baited smile there.
But I'll tell you what.
His lips quivering. He's just waiting to fucking go with that. She's like, got him. This is exactly what I mean. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's all about gotchas. They don't give a fuck about policy. All they care about is making the other one look shit so they can get in office.
Exactly.
It's nothing about left and right. Stop getting angry at each other and fuck these kids up. That's not me calling for violence on the presidential candidates. Just be clear before I get a file made by the CIA or whatever. But or Boris, seeing as we're gonna end up like with our thumbs up each other's butts.
I know,
but
like, if it happens, it happens.
They don't care. They don't give a fuck if they like the Democrats are barely even left. That's why they don't endorse Bernie. I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons they won't endorse Bernie, because he's too left. The Democrats are basically centrist. Like, it's the same. It's the same as Boris with all of the bullshit virtue signaling that he does. It's all the same shit. He pretends to care about Brexit and what everyone wants for Brexit and getting a quick Brexit and getting good deals for Brexit and all that sort of shit, and just shits on Corbyn in the meantime. And That's all he does. It's just all virtue signaling, just to get you to think a certain way. They don't give a fuck about us. They pitting us against each other. And it needs to fucking stop. I'm sick of it.
Bro, I hate to end it there, but my video's done.
No, that is probably a decent spot to end it there. I can't get through the rest of this video anyway.
You wouldn't want to.
No, I'm closing this shit down now, man. I'm done.
Nobody needs
I
to see
sent it
this.
to my camera. No, like, fuck him. Fuck him. I'm gonna put 100 quid on Trump to win the election just because I know I'm gonna get 200 quid that way.
Exactly. Therefore.
I should have done it the last time.
Yeah,
I was about to vote for her. She weren't getting in. Like I can fucking remember that there was that weird feeling coming up to the day. It's just like, wait, this isn't actually gonna happen, is it? It's all media. It's all just virtue signaling media, acting like Trump will never get in, and because of that he's getting in.
Yeah.
And the same thing's gonna happen now, because what I showed with Biden was the perfect example. They just sat there waiting for him to slip up so they can swoop in and try and make something of it. It's nothing about us. It's nothing about him. It's all about them. Whichever party they're on, it's about them. And all they ever do is just pit us against each other, so that they can make it about them versus them. So that they can try and make themselves, put themselves in the position they want to be. So that they can do what they want to do. It's nothing to do with what we want. It's nothing to do with anything for us. Like, the entire thing with Biden is just get him out. Flush the turd, all that bullshit. It's just like, yeah, he bad. He's a shit president.
Obviously.
But, I mean, let's face it, until they actually let legitimate candidates come forward rather than the ex-vice president, then it's not for the people. Like, they put Joe as the front man just because people know him, because they had that whole Obama buddy thing at coming to the end of his term. It's because it's familiar and it's their best chance to get rid of Trump. That's it. Like, yeah, he needs to be gone. The Republicans, I would say, are a lot fucking worse than the Democrats. But you have to take in for a second some of the reasons, like what we brought up at the beginning with the Bernie people voting for Trump. You have to remember those people. Like, they didn't vote for someone that was the polar opposite to what they wanted for no reason.
Mm-hmm. So
fucking listen and stop letting them pit us against each other, for fuck's sake.
Exactly.
It's giving me a headache, guys.
Yes.
So, anyways, I digress. That's enough chatting shit now. We will catch you next Thursday. Drop a like, drop a dislike, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Subscribe. We're up on all the major platforms and that, I believe. I actually took time to put into the top. We have our Instagram up now. I think the only thing we're missing is Facebook, innit? I seen the email in our thing about it, so I thought, well, shit,
yeah,
okay. we got it. It's ready.
Yeah.
So I don't exactly know what we're planning to do with all the other social medias, other than just, kind of diversify and promote and stuff like that. But yeah, drop us a follow on those as well, just because, helps get the word out and shit, and helps with the algorithm, and just get the whole woe term out in it. because
We love to
that's
see
the whole
it.
buzzword. Love to see it. Love to see it. But yeah, I think that's us done. I'm gonna go collapse and try and pretend like I don't exist for an hour.
Don't blame you. For all the shit that's going on.
Oh yeah. All right, enjoy your food, mate.
Yes.
I'll catch you later.
Yes. Till the next time. Next Thursday.
Till the next time. In a bit now.
Peace. We're done.
We are.
Great. That was a lengthy one.
It was, yeah. I thought we were going to do like 2 hours, but I thought we were going to do like an hour and a half maybe. Nearly doubled it. Whoops.
Hey.
Whoops-a-daisies. Oh well.
Oh well. More content.
It is indeed. What are you having for dinner?
I think I got like bakes for like cheese and onion bakes and like barbecue chicken bakes.
Yeah,
We'll have
fair,
something with
fair.
that.
Nice.
Afford it. I'm absolutely having.
Yeah, I'm starving. I gotta go sort something out now.
What are you having, do you know?
I think I got like a frozen lasagna there, so probably that and some frozen broccoli.
Please.
Yeah. But yeah, catch you later, but enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow. I'll let you know when.
Sound. Catch you then.
Damn it.
Hopefully we might be doing a bit of streaming.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
At least
Fucking right.
get it sorted.
Yeah, for sure. I finish at like 5:15 tomorrow, so well 5:30. Be on about the same time. Drop me a message, innit?
It's my sister's birthday, so I'm going up there to see her first.
Fair.
I'll let you know though.
Yeah, let me know, bro.
Tidy.
Alright, catch you later.
See you later, man. Ta-da.
Ta-da.